Daily Words of God. Whenever Satan corrupts man or inflicts unbridled harm upon man, God does not stand idly by, and neither does he brush aside or turn a blind eye to those he has chosen. God understands with perfect clarity all that Satan does. No matter what Satan does, no matter what trend it causes to arise, God knows all that Satan is trying to do, and God does not give up on those he has chosen. Instead, without attracting any attention, secretly, silently, God does everything that is necessary. When God begins work on someone, when he has chosen someone, he does not proclaim this news to anyone, nor does he proclaim it to Satan, much less make any grand gesture. He just very quietly, very naturally, does what is necessary. First, he selects a family for you, your family background, your parents, your ancestors, all this. God decides in advance. In other words, God does not make these decisions on a whim. Rather, he began this work long ago. Once God has chosen a family for you, he then chooses the date on which you will be born. Then God watches as you are born and come crying into the world. He watches your birth, watches as you utter your first words, watches as you stumble and toddle your first steps as you learn how to walk. First you take one step, and then you take another. And now you can run, jump, talk, and express your feelings. As people grow up, Satan's gaze is fixed on every one of them, like a tiger eyeing its prey. But in doing his work, God has never been subject to any limitations arising from people, events or things, of space or time. He does what he should and what he must. In the process of growing up, you may encounter many things that are not to your liking, such as illness and frustration. But as you walk this path, your life and your future are strictly under God's care. God gives you a genuine guarantee to last all your life, for he is right there beside you, guarding you and looking after you. You grow up unaware of this. You begin to come into contact with new things and start to get to know this world and this mankind. Everything is fresh and new to you. You have some things you enjoy doing. You live within your own humanity. You live within your own space, and you have not the slightest perception about the existence of God. But God watches you every step of the way as you grow, and he watches you as you make every stride forward. Even when you are learning knowledge or studying science, God has never left your side for a single step. You are just the same as other people in that, in the course of getting to know the world and engage with it, you have established your own ideals. You have your own hobbies, your own interests, and you also harbor lofty ambitions. You often ponder your own future, often sketching the outline of how your future should look. But no matter what transpires along the way, God sees it all happening clearly. Maybe you yourself have forgotten your own past, but to God, there is no one who can understand you better than he. You live under God's gaze, growing up, maturing. During this period, God's most important task is something that no one ever perceives, something no one knows. God certainly does not tell anyone about it. So what is this most crucial thing? It can be said that it is the guarantee that God will save a person. This means that if God wants to save this person, He must do this. This task is vitally important to both man and God. Do you know what it is? It seems like you do not have any feeling about this or any concept of it, so I will tell you. From the time you were born all the way up to now, God has carried out much work on you, but He does not give you an exhaustive account of everything He has done. God did not allow you to know this, and neither did He tell you. However, for mankind, everything He does is important. As far as God is concerned, it is something He must do. In His heart, there is something important He needs to do that far exceeds any of these things. That is, from the time a person is born up to the present day, God must guarantee their safety. When you hear these words, you may feel as though you do not fully understand. You may ask, is this safety so important? Well, what is the literal meaning of safety? Maybe you understand it to mean peace, or maybe you understand it to mean never experiencing any disaster or calamity, to live well, to live a normal life. But in your hearts, you must know that it is not so simple. So what exactly is this thing that I have been talking about, that God has to do? What does safety mean to God? Is it really a guarantee of the normal meaning of safety? No. So what is it that God does? This safety means that you will not be devoured by Satan. Is this important? Not being devoured by Satan. Does this concern your safety or not? Yes, this concerns your personal safety, and there can be nothing more important. Once you have been devoured by Satan, your soul and your flesh no longer belong to God. God will no longer save you. God forsakes souls and people who have been devoured by Satan. So I say the most important thing that God has to do is to guarantee this safety of yours, to guarantee that you will not be devoured by Satan. This is very important, is it not? So why can you not answer? It seems like you are unable to feel God's great kindness.